still a ways off from getting the engine running. So in the meantime, we'll keep going with a bunch of the other things that need to be done. One major thing is we need a mount for these front shocks, because right now they do absolutely nothing. Not a very big one, but this could be a really cool gas tank. Gallons, 5.5. Oh, that's plenty. I'm not gonna be driving it for that long at a time. 5 gallons ought to do the trick. Mount that on the back of there. Drill some holes, weld on some stuff, not blow ourselves up. Seems like a plan. I came up with something that's going to look super cool and be absurdly strong for these shock mounts. So I've got 2 little pieces of cardboard here, all chopped up and mocked up. So when I cut these out of steel, it'll go something like that. The shock will go, you know, right in between them there. And then I'll have a plate that goes across the backside down to here as well. And the shock will bolt into that with room for a little rubber bushing as well. So we'll throw these in with 4 random orders. They'll be signed, a little piece of the 2J Mower history. So if you order this hoodie, you have a chance to get a piece of cardboard with it. So that's cool. And of course, you'll still be entered to win the Suron that we're giving away, so check that out as well.
Looks like you're doing some hieroglyphics or something.
Modern art, man. It's modern art. Come on. Don't you know anything about art?
Nope.
There's the cardboard template, and there's the metal version. 1 down, 3 more to go, but I think that came out looking really cool. And, you know, it weighs a heck of a lot less than it would if these chunks were in there. And bonus, air can pass through there because, you know, aerodynamics is super important on this build. That shock mount is extremely sturdy, way more so than necessary, but that's cool because it gives us options. If we change up this front end, you know, if we go from coil spring and shock to maybe coilover setup, this would still be plenty strong, so that's cool. But yeah, that will do the trick. Super duper strong. Also, massive reinforcement for this section of frame so that it's extra send-worthy. So now that the shock towers are done, I'm going to keep going on the gas tank. This propane tank holds 5.5 gallons, so that'll be enough for most of the times we'd want to drive it. And if we need more, we can always add an extra one. But I think I want it to look like a propane tank so that people get really confused and think that this thing's run on propane. So I'm gonna leave the valve on here and everything. I will take this bleeder all the way out to make sure there's nothing left in it before I cut and weld on it, because exploding propane tank would be a bad thing. I've learned the hard way to not weld on a gas tank without, you know, verifying that it's empty. There's various places I could mount a gas tank, but for handling and aesthetics and everything else, the best place is going to be right here. See, my plan of making this bracket in one piece and bending it didn't work. I made little slices with the plasma cutter, bent it, and it just snapped, which, you know, happens. So it's fine. I'll just do it in 2 pieces, which makes it easier to line up anyway. So I got the holes drilled in this piece. That piece is bolted onto there. This piece bolted to here. So now I'll just line it up and weld it together in place, and then it'll be one piece again. My bracket turned out nice and pretty, you know, I got it looking good after I welded it back together, so it looks like it was bent. But then, you know, I went and covered it up with a gas tank, so you can hardly see it. But, oh well. It's all welded up, and it's definitely one of the more overkill things I've ever built. And I've been sitting here looking at it, trying to figure out what it looks like. It looks like a backpack. Looks like you just, you know, put that over your shoulders and carry it away, which I guess you could. In the interest of having an engine running soon, and also in the interest of having the hood fit over said engine, get an idea of how much I'm gonna have to stretch the hood and in what directions, and just what it's gonna look like. I've looked at this and thought about it quite a few times, and I came up with a plan finally, which is to split it in half lengthwise, right down the middle, from here all the way to the back, and stretch it widthwise, the whole thing. I think that I'm gonna be a tractor for Halloween. Too bad Halloween's already passed this year. Vroom! Oh wait, that's not really a tractor thing. I mean, if this tractor is gonna be a vroom vroom. What are the odds of this? The little slide guide on the plasma cutter fits exactly between the ridges on that grill. I don't know how I didn't see this coming, but this was the worst idea I've had all year. Stretching the hood. It looks terrible. I don't know how I thought that was gonna look good. It's absolutely horrendous. So, yeah, back to the drawing board with that one. I'll get rid of this piece and then come up with some other ideas. Well, I cut the hood in half, welded it back together, cut it in half again because that was stupid, welded it back together again, and then I cut it in half the other direction, and I think that's gonna work. We're going with no stretch widthwise and about 9.5 inches of stretch lengthwise. The main thing that gets us is past the intake with the Simplicity logo, so that we can keep that. That's important. It also just looks right because now it goes all the way back to the steering column like it would have on the tractor. It'll just have some extra stitches for no good reason, but you know, kind of adds to the rat rodness of it. I've got it just tacked together with scrap here to hold it all in the right shape. And I made a cutout on this side for the distributor. So that's pretty cool. It's also cool to see it just sticking out the side like that. I think it looks really good this way. And so next week I'll just fill in this section with sheet metal, fill in the top, make it look like it's supposed to be this way, and make some attachment points for it here. Again, the front's just tacked in place with scrap so that I could get it where I wanted it easily, and then I'll make a bracket here with a hinge on it so the whole thing can just whoop.